Hello everybody! Now I want to talk about the importance of knives. Knives. They come in different sizes, but we're talking about knives here. We're not talking about other types of bladed weapons, longer blades, simple knives, short knives, to be more exact. Knives like this, very sharp. Knives with finger holes. Knives are a very important thing to have. Like this one, the SOG Traction. Airgun Jordan, how you doing? Shout out to Airgun Jordan. Okay, we got knives. This is one of my EDC, everyday carry, the SOG Traction. Razor sharp. Yep. The SOG Traction, my favorite EDC. Perfect for everyday carry. Well, we got 7 viewers. If you just came in, give me some likes. Yeah, so this is basically your pocket knife. Can be used for other things. The knife has been a tool and a weapon for, for self-defense, for offense. It's been used. It's been used as a tool for hunting, a tool for building. It's been a very important tool for thousands of years. This is a more high-end knife, the SOG Traction. The SOG Traction. These are simple tools, but they are effective for self-defense at close range. They are effective for, for bushcraft. There are many different kinds of knives for different purposes. Knives have different purposes. I mean, you can buy different kinds. Now this one's the more high-end. The SOG the Cold Steel SRK. Thank you. We got 13 views. And only 2 likes. Give me more likes. Likes. Yes, I do. I have sharpening kits. Dave. I've sharpened my knives pretty well. This one's pretty cheap to buy. It's got a glass breaker at the end of it. It's similar to the Cold Steel SRK, except smaller. But despite being cheap, it's very effective, very sharp out the box. You can use tasks with it. You can defend yourself with it. You can use bushcraft with it. It's got a clip-on sheath. A little rattly, but it doesn't go anywhere. This one's not rattly. This is Cold Steel. This one is basically the M-Tech Fang. I've carried this in the bad neighborhoods. So knives have been used for thousands of years to defend us at close range and as a tool of hunting and bushcraft. And in this day and age, you can have it. There's different types of knives for different types of tasks, from fishing to hunting to self-defense to everything. You know what I mean? Thank you, Cena. Thank you. There is a certain beauty about knives, the forging of the steel. the style of the knife, the way the handle's made and the sheath. It's one of those very few things where art and functionality can meet, is in the blade. Well, I think I got the old school one, YM. The old school. So we're going to stay on topic. We're specifically going to talk about knives. No off-topic conversations, okay? We're talking about knives and knives only. So if you got any knife stories, anything you want to say about knives. Now, we're talking about knives that are medium-sized to small. Now, there are bigger knives, but when it comes to concealability, the smaller and medium-sized knives are pretty good. Yes, they are. But there are some, like D2, I think D2 Steel has been a competitor. Noodles. Yes, I do. Well, I am. Yes, but it holds up. A2 sounds pretty good then. But yes, I have a few stories about knives. I'll put it this way. I've been, let's see, I've used knives, not always in the appropriate way. Put it that way. I mean, I've edged weapons. I felt I have been stabbed before, not with a knife, but with a makeshift, you could say like a tin broomstick handle. It was speared in the chest. The reason I got this, you can't see it on camera, but there's a ring here. I was speared in the chest with a broomstick handle that was made of tin. Yeah, that was fun. You know. Very good, Noodles. You are a knife connoisseur. It was bad neighborhood. Somebody challenged me. There was a fight. There were a few stabbings on both ends. I stabbed someone in the hand with a pair of scissors because he said he didn't have the balls to do it. I put a hole through his hand. The guy said, "You don't have the balls to put that pair of scissors into my hand." He didn't know me very well. I thrusted that pair of scissors right into his hand and put a hole in it. Through the table, too. It was a really bad night that night. I mean, then there was a lot of fights that broke out. I got headlocked. Then I got back up, got the scissors again. This guy tried to club me with that tin broomstick handle, but it really didn't have any effect on me until he speared me with it. So, yeah, I've had my share of conflicts with edged weapons. I also, during that conflict, I threw a hammer, like a claw hammer, like a tomahawk at someone's head while they were running. It was a bad night. It was a really bad night. And I was a teenager in a trailer park. So, scissor attack. Yeah, he still has that hole in his hand. I still got the wounds from that getting speared in the chest. Camo Camper. Here's a man who knows about good steel and knives. I remember the Ginzus, but they're kitchen knives. What we're talking about is the knives that we bring with us on a daily basis. From our EDCs. This could be used for self-defense, bushcraft. This is a good knife to have even for small game hunting. You know what I mean? Or even fishing. So this is a good knife for that. For the knives we bring for hunting, you know, for large game, this is a good large game hunter. If you're going to prepare an animal, this is pretty good. From the self-defense knives we use, it's close range, you know what I mean? There's multi-use knives here. So true, Nils. Well, I always say check your local laws when it comes to knives. Check your local laws. Some states are more restrictive than others. This is the reason why I have the This is the reason why I have the saw traction. It's legally compliant for my everyday carry. In my state. As much as it can be. This one, well, I never carried legally, but in the bad neighborhoods, underneath my shirt, a neck knife. Hello, Dave. Hello, Dave, too. Good idea, Dave. That's my mother, Dave, too. That is my mother, who is no longer with us, but back on topic. How you doing, Sam? So do I. But if you're talking about my mother, I'd tread softly. I'd tread really soft. Exactly, Airgun Jordan. Exactly. Knives. They're nice. Are excellent self-defense tools at close range. They've always been there. From daggers to swords. These are just the smaller versions, but you know, they're not to be underestimated. They can kill you, but they can also do a lot of tools and tasks and everything like that. Not all knives are weapons. You know what I mean? I've seen it. Get rid of the bastard now. Anyway, let's just get back to what we're doing. Well, we got 5 likes. Give me more likes. I'd like to get a shout out to Big Tactical. Shout out to Airgun Jordan. Shout out to definitely Airgun Johnny. And a shout out to basically Airguns Anonymous. And Airgun Power Zone. I got to give a shout out to him too. All my TAC fam brothers, you know. That's true, Nancy. That's true. Salute to my TAC fam brothers. That being said, we're staying on topic. It's going to be about knives. Now, a good piece of steel could save your life. Hello, Toxic. I gotta stay on topic. If you're here to talk about knives, we'll talk about knives. Knives. Okay. Anyway. They're good tools. They have been used as weapons because of that sharp edge. I've seen box cutters. One time, one of my family members was drunk and got into a fight with one of my other family members, and I saw a box cutter slice up the wrist of one of my other family members, and he had to go to the hospital. Thank God he didn't bleed out too much. He didn't. Thank God it didn't catch a vein. But yeah, he sliced up his wrist with that box cutter, and it was pretty bad. I mean, these box cutters are no joke. They're mostly used as tools. I mean, I use box cutters where I work, but yeah, box cutters they could be they're like a razor sharp. So yeah, be careful around box cutters, you know. But most of the time, they are tools. Oh, man. How many times I got to say this? Are you new here? I always say everyone knows where I'm from. You know, Maryland, the place where crabs are fished out of waters and stuff like that. That's true, Airgun Jordan. They are replaceable. The razor of a box cutter is replaceable. Hello, Sifton. We're talking about knives here. We're talking about knives. Thank you, Noodles, for telling me to stay on topic. Knives. Well, I will say this. There's a lot of great brands, from the cheapest ones. For example, this is from Arena Accessories. I don't like the sheath, but the knife is great for the price. I would actually make a different sheath for this, but Arena Accessories makes some good stuff. SOG, SOG. They're the makers of one of my favorite pocket knives I carry with me, a SOG Traction. And of course, Cold Steel. No Finnick. Yeah, I've actually held a Switchblade once. One that was spring-loaded. They're great knives. I think it was stupid that they banned them because I heard that a lot of times in a lot of states, they banned Switchblades because of a movie called Rebel Without a Cause in the 50s. How silly is that? That you're going to basically ban entire classes of knives because of basically a movie from the 50s. But that's how it was back then. See, I don't believe it. I think knife laws are stupid a lot of times. I think they're stupid because they're tools. True, Dave, true. Well, some of his knives are really good. But the other knives, I don't think that some of the knives that had the kind of like really deep jimping at the back would be effective in combat as a thrusting weapon. Maybe the edge would work, but I think Rambo Last Blood knife was actually more effective as a combat knife. You know, anything with a serrated spine, not exactly gonna. You can only because anything with serrations on it, I don't particularly like because of the fact what happens when it gets snagged into flesh. I mean, if you have to use it, it's hard to get it out. Now that knife was awesome. That was a great Bowie knife. The Crocodile Dundee Bowie. Not my favorite kind of sword. But we're not talking about swords here. We're talking about knives. Stay on topic, Sifton. Now, one of my favorite combat knives is the trench knife. I like the trench knife. It is basically has every part of that weapon is a weapon. Is, you know. So the blade is a powerful thing. If you got 19 views, give me more than 6. Please, give me up to 12 likes. It keeps me in the algorithm. Please, bring me up to 12, brothers. Bring me up to 12. So, you're off topic. I think you can go. We're talking about knives here. Knives. You know, if you're not on topic, I mean, we're talking about knives. The importance of knives. So I would tell you to leave if you don't want to talk about knives. Ah, I've never seen the Carpenter Special. I'll have to check that out. This one, the Cold Steel. No, sorry, not. Wrong company. I always mix that up, Cold Steel and SOG. I always do. I don't know why. No, the SOG Traction. This is my everyday carry. SOG Traction. Razor sharp. Really good. Yeah, this is the one I carry. My everyday carry is the SOG Traction. Thank you, Kama Kampa. Well, box cutter. Just I would say just get one. I would say this: have extra razors for your box cutter. There's different kinds of box cutters. Now, I don't use box cutters a lot. But if you use them, I'd say put them in airtight containers so they don't rust. The razor blades. I've already showed you that, Sifton. I think I've showed that in previous videos. My Colombian Smatchet leaf-shaped blade. Haven't you ever seen that one? But we're not talking about machetes here. Stay on topic. We're talking about knives. I gotta check that out, Eric. We got 7 likes, 16 views. Well, if you just came in, get me up to 12, please. 12 likes. I just want 12 likes. We're halfway there, you know? Anyway. Like I said, knives are an important part. I always say, when you get a knife, check with your local laws of what kind of knife you can carry outside. Check your local laws of what knives you can have. Some laws are more restrictive than others. Well, I use kitchen knives, to, cut stuff. I use a small kitchen knife most of the time to cut meat. I usually, that's what I use. I've used this knife to basically cut my food before, at the lunch area at my work. So we're not talking about that, Sifton. We're not talking about that. That's for a later stream. Right now, we're just talking about knives. What type of knife do you like to carry for EDC? This one's my EDC knife, the SOG Traction. That is my EDC everyday carry. Legal to carry in my state. I like the steel. It's okay, we got 8 likes. Come on now, get me up to 12. Dude, we're talking about knives. Smoked Yank. Stay on topic. A window spike? I don't know what that is, Sifton. But if you haven't come here to talk about knives, I think you need to go to another stream. We're talking exclusively about knives here. Specifically, what kind of knives we use for every day. This one's mine. But there's different kinds of knives that I have used. There's self-defense knives. Yeah. Well, that's good for you, but apparently you don't have anything else. You don't have knives like this. The Cold Steel SRK. Oh, you're talking about a glass breaker, Sifton. No, my EDC doesn't have that, but this does. This one does. You should have just said glass breaker. I wouldn't know what you're talking about. How you doing, Billy? We're talking about knives here. We're talking about knives. What would I recommend for you? I would say check your local laws on what kind of knives you can have, or what kind of weapons you can have. I would say, I'm not going to go off topic here, but you can look at a lot of my content, my videos. There's a lot of things that you can still have, that even a felon can have. Knives are one of them, but I would just say that there are other things. I have to stay on topic here, but I would suggest if getting a pocket knife, like a Cold Steel, like a SOG Traction. I got this on eBay. It's called the SOG Traction. It's got a nice grip, razor sharp blade, good for tool. It's a good tool knife and a good defensive knife. We're talking about knives here. Knives. If you gotta stay on topic, if you don't want to talk about knives, Mr. Flamingo, you can go. I don't care about the Super Bowl. I care about knives right now. And I'm talking about knives. And if you don't want to talk about knives, you can go. Here we go. And I think you can go. Well, Mr. Flamingo, you had to go. What? Well, that's a stupid question, Smoke Yank, but I'll answer it. Okay, what do we do with knives? They're good for everyday tasks, cutting string. They're good for basically carving things, bushcraft, preparing food. Knives have multiple uses, Smoked Yank. Nomad, how you doing? We're talking about the importance of knives. I've been known to, Smoked Yank. That's cool. Spyderco is an awesome folding knife. Awesome brand of knives there. Spyderco, great brand of knives. Now, I prefer, this is old school cold steel, but I like the SOG myself. SOG has become a pretty good brand for me because I like the SOG traction. SOG, S-O-G, SOG, Now, some people like the Spyderco. Some people like other brands, I certainly like the Jimp's grip on this bad boy. Take a look at this Jimp grip. Really tight. It's really tight on the grip, too. It really does well. Well. I think it's time for you to go, Smoked Yank. We're done. Thank you, Nomad. Thank you. Now, I've actually got a chance to spend time. Oh, sorry about that. I got a chance to spend time with you, Nomad. You got some pretty cool knives yourself. But as you know, you've seen this. This is my everyday carry. It's a top quality knife. It costs me about 25 bucks on eBay. It's made of good steel, so it's got the lock back, which is one of my favorite locks. It's got a pin, kind of thumb grip, a thumb opening system. Tanto point, inverse curve. Yeah, love it. 10 likes. I'm liking that. Well, don't you just love that? Anyway, back on topic. So we're talking about knives. I like the 10 likes. Get me up to 12 people. Get me up to 12 likes. Come on now. And I would say that you're gone. Billy, get rid of Jaden. Get rid of Jaden now. He said he was 15. He's got to go. No, man. Billy, get rid of Jaden. Yeah, I know about that. I know. I know. I understand, Billy. But can you help me? You're my moderator, Billy. Get rid of Jaden Bowie, okay? All right, we're up to 11. We're liking that. Thank you, Richard. Awesome, $40. Pretty cool, folding knife. I think it's a little too much for a folding knife, but I only paid like 20 something for this. But I paid $30 for other larger knives, but okay. Thank you, Brooke and Porter. Thank you. If you're here to talk about knives, let's talk about knives. Like I said, I love my knives. This one's a cheap knife I got on eBay, but a very, very sharp out of the box. It's pretty durable. You know, if you didn't have a lot of money, you can pay $6.99 for a knife like this, and you could be on your way. It's got a glass breaker on it. It's got a nice little like in the handle. It's got a nice. It's like rubberized around the sides, and it's got this nice little plastic dip. Perfect for finger gripping. It's got a nice little palm swell. I mean, this is a pretty good knife. I'd say if you don't have to get cold steel, you can get one of these, and you can get an S-Tech. This is an S-Tech knife. It's called S. I don't know what type of knife. It's made in China. It's cheap, razor sharp out of the box. Pretty durable for a cheap knife. It's got a glass breaker on it. You can buy one of these cheap if you can't afford big name knives. Arena Accessories makes some cheap but very good knives. Oh, that's awesome, No Sage. That's very awesome. How you doing? We're talking about knives. Leo. We're talking about knives. That's so true, Nomad. Really? Dude, don't be talking about stupid stuff on my channel. Okay, someone took my 11. Give me back. Give me the 12, people. Give me the 12. 12 likes. 12 likes, people. Well, we're talking about knives here. Different kinds of knives. Knives. Who took that off my likes? I should be having down to 9 likes. I was up to 11. What the? We're talking about knives here. If you don't want to talk about knives, go someplace else. Awesome. Sheffield, awesome. Okay, we're back up to 10. Get me up to 12 likes, people. If you just came into the stream, get me up to 12. Yeah? What, you gonna put toast on your bread in the morning with that knife? Okay, we're up to 11. Oh, we're up to 12. I'm liking that. We got our goal number. Okay. Well, we're talking about knives as tools and as self-defense implements. Thank you, home entertainment. Thank you, home entertainment. Well, you get it. Thank you, Billy. Thank you, Billy. Well, that's for a later stream, wee baddie. That's for a later stream. Those are bigger blades. Those are in the classifications of swords. We're talking about knives, mid-sized knives, knives that we carry every day. But like I said, when you were looking for a good knife, I'd say if you don't want to break the bank, you can find this on Amazon or eBay. It's a cheap Chinese knife, pretty durable, razor sharp out of the box. I've added my own little Rob line thing on it, but this is shakes a little bit, but it doesn't go out. Yeah, this is the knife you want to get, the S-Tech. So it's got a nice grip on it, very nice grip. You see. I've never used a Kershaw knife. I've used SOG, I've used cold steel. I have to get one then. Thank you, thank you, Leo. Thank you, Leo. Yeah. Like I say, we got some good knives here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, nothing too crazy. A 13, I'm loving that. Now this is a self-defense knife that I'd suggest people get. You can jab this up, slice in. So true, home entertainment. So true, so true. So there's a lot of great knives out there. And I always say when it comes to getting knives, check out what you're legally allowed to carry in your state or in your country, depending on where you are. Check out your local laws when it comes to blades. That's an awesome blade. This awesome tool knife. Thank you, PDX Paranormal. Thank you. I always say, super safe not to basically... There is an organization that can help you protect your rights when it comes to knife ownership. It's called Knife Rights. That is my mother, John. And she's no longer with us. It's okay. Let me show you what more knives can do. This one, for example, as you can see. Woo! Looky, looky, looky. These knives are sharp. This one is cheap. You can buy it cheap on eBay or Amazon. This is a S-Tech. Good for as a survival tool and as a potential self-defense weapon. And this is sharp out of the box. This is the factory edge. Pretty durable for a cheap Chinese knife, but it is very good. I put this wrap myself. I put this wrap on myself. This is my own. This is Rob line. It's like it's not paracord. It's called Rob line. This stuff is tough. This stuff is made out of what's it called? It's not nylon. It's made out of that other stuff, that more Kevlar. It's made of Kevlar. It's Kevlar line. Anyway, it's made of Kevlar. A lot tougher than nylon. But I digress. Okay. To my moderators, error calls. I think it's time for you to go. Yeah, it was just too much disrespect. We're talking about knives here. Someone, I don't even want to repeat that. You sound like a troll. Don't act like one on my channel. Thank you, Home Entertainment. You're a good guy. Well, I don't know if you're a guy or not. Sorry. I couldn't be making that mistake, you know. All right. Like I said, knives, I demonstrate the sharpness of these knives. I'm shredding. These knives are shredding. That's how sharp they are. I take good care of my knives. I make sure they're shredding sharp. Good. I didn't want to make that mistake. Sometimes I do. You got that right. We're not talking about that. I think you need to go. I'm not talking anything but knives. So, yeah. So true, John. So true. You brought a great knife from Harbor Freight. That's good. Well, on my channel, being a mod is a much more, vetting process. I have to vet somebody and get to know them before I mod them up. You know what I mean? You have to see if you're on the level. Being a moderator on my channel is much more of a vetting process over time. I have a new moderators. That way I don't have to get the wrong people in here, you know. All right, we got 15 views and 15 likes. That's a balance. That's what I'm talking about. Exactly, paranormal. No, I don't have one of those. I have a few daggers. Like a small dagger. Like a boot knife, you could say. Um, I have let's see, I have a few things. Um, I have this, the M-Tech Fang, pretty good. Well, thank you. There's more than just knives on this channel, John Elliott. All other great things. There's more than just knives. If you love knives, but also there's other things on this channel that you would like. Other tools of destruction. How you doing, Callie? How you doing? Exactly, Billy. Oh yeah, well, like I said before, I don't have one. I've held one before, a switchblade, an actual switchblade, with a basically kind of like an ebony handle, like an ebony kind of handle, with the with basically with the safety and the push button. I've held one. I've held one. I've never had one, owned one, but I knew someone who had one, and I actually held one. So I've actually held one of those. It's a thing of beauty, I'll say. You know what I mean? I think it's time for you to go. To moderators, Taylor's got to go. Airgun Johnny, get rid of Taylor. How you doing, Airgun Johnny? We're talking about knives today. Different kinds of knives, from your EDC knife, as tools for defense, and as tools as tools. Knives have different purposes. Thank you, Airgun Johnny. You have to earn your Thank you, Billy Sykes. So, that being said, I got 16 likes, 16 views. Now, Airgun Johnny, do you have any knives that you particularly like? That you carry around with you? Salute to Airgun Johnny and all my TAC fan brothers. I heard they shut down Ontario. I heard that Ontario went out of business. Eli. So we're talking about knives here. Now, knives are easy to get, no matter where you are. Cool, Billy. It's okay, Airgun Johnny. Sometimes we forget a lot of things. But I'll have to ask you, what kind of knives do you carry? I mean, for my everyday carry, it's always going to be the SOG Traction, hands down. Pocket knife, I can use it for different things, Knives, Moochie, knives. We're talking about knives. Particularly knives that we use for tools and tools of defense, and weapons. So knives have different uses. I've demonstrated, I paper shredded 3 knives. I demonstrated the sharpness of 3 knives here. Awesome, awesome. Like the M-Tech Fang. Awesome. That's awesome, Airgun Johnny. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. You got some good knives there. Yes. Yes, it's a cheap knife. There was a problem with the sheath until I fixed it up with some upholstery thread. It's a neck knife. Your willers get stuck in the wood. I would say there must be some design flaw in the design of the knife. Maybe you should try another knife. I mean, there might be a better design out there that could help. I know that one, John. It's not what we're talking about. We're talking about knives for different. I realize a firearm is a long-range weapon. We're talking about knives as tools for close range. You know, like close quarter defense. You know, yeah. It's basically. I have family members who've been in prison, have worked as prison guards, and they say the reason they don't carry pistols is because at close range, those can be taken out of your hands. Know what I mean? Yeah. See, every situation calls for different tools. Okay? Exactly, Airgun Jordan. And nobody's disputing that. But, you know, I always say there's different ranges. If someone's really close to you, your ability to deploy, let's say, a pistol is going to be very hard at close quarters. You know? See, a lot of times they don't think about this. Yeah, guns are great. Okay? I like guns. There's guns on this channel. But at the same time, I also know that at close quarters, sometimes you have to deploy an edged weapon. Or, you know, deploy an edged weapon because you just can't pull out your pistol when you're at close range with somebody. You know what I mean? There is a knife fight and there is a gun fight. There's different situations. Get rid of this person. 11, right? Your name is 11. Exactly. So you should know, John Elliott, in a tight space environment like prison, that pistols are not exactly good when you're up close and personal. Right? Yeah. Yeah, okay. We got a lot of knives. That is true, Airgun. And I would say one of the best knives used for close quarters is a knife like this. I should have brought this downstairs. Or you can get yourself a a Combat Commander trench knife, or a cold steel trench knife. Trench knife is really good at, it's designed as basically a close quarter combat killer. It's been proven on the battlefields from World War I to World War II. Yeah, exactly. So you have to put it like this, okay? Now, there are other close quarter weapons out there. Don't get me wrong. That's awesome, Kay. That's awesome. Well, right now we're on knives. Yeah. Not a kukri. I prefer the Filipino barong, because it's basically the leaf shape of a Eli, of a Filipino barong. I have like a Colombian smatchet, which is basically a Filipino barong. I love the leaf-shaped blade because it gives you that chopping power, but it also gives you that thrusting power as well. So you get the edge of a chopper, and you got the thruster as well. So it has a balance in that way. But I might get a kukri. I might. Which one? I have 4 that I decided to display today. This is the SOG Traction, my EDC. This one's a Chinese knife that you can buy on eBay or Amazon. Cheap, but very sturdy and very sharp out the box. Factory edge, you could shred paper. This one has a glass breaker. Good grip. This is an S-Tech knife, so it's this is pretty cheap. You can find one of these easy. This one is from Arena Accessories. It needs a new sheath. Cold steel, classic cold steel. Cold steel SRK. This is another cheap knife, but effective. The M-Tech Fang. Eli. That is true. Airgun Johnny. A knife never runs out of bullets. And neither does a club. But that's a different story. Thank you, John. So I'm not saying knives are the end-all to be-all. They're not. But at close range, as Airgun Jordan said, for at close quarters, the knife is king. And that is true. At close quarters, the knife is king. Yes, but we're not talking about that, Kay. I'll save that for another stream. That being said, I do think it's about time for me to go and go off air. More on that later. Okay, we got 17 likes. Well, I want to say God bless everybody that's here. Even God bless the trolls. They keep trying. I hope they come to the light. It is, isn't it? I was stabbed, so I understand, man. I've done some stabbing and some slicing myself. So I know the beauty and the lethality of a knife. So, thank you, Home Entertainment. Thank you, bro. Oh, you came too late, Aubrey. Stream's about to end. Moderators. Ellie has got to go. You don't come around here. All right. Remember, and I want to say this at the last thing. If you get a knife, or if you have knives, check your local laws. And become a member of Knife Rights. They'll help you protect your rights when it comes to knives. I salute to all my TAC fan brothers. And everyone's here. Thank you, John.